Hello, sweet friends. Welcome in today. Today's practice is about loving kindness. And for me, one of the most kind things that I can do for myself is to just show up for myself, hold space for myself, move my body, rest when necessary. And I wanted to incorporate all of that into today's practice. As a little personal note, I attempted to film this practice yesterday. I did the whole thing and I went through all of the sequencing and really found that it was like a beautiful restorative practice and I felt great about it. And I went to check on the recording and I hadn't recorded it. So such a human moment. And in that moment, I initially felt really disappointed that I had kind of like wasted this hour and what might have otherwise caused me a catastrophic, heartbreaking experience that maybe could have shifted the tide for the rest of the day. Ended up feeling just like, I guess it's a new opportunity for me. It's another opportunity for me to practice and both practice the movement, practice the sequence, practice the yoga, if you will, but also to practice the yoga, practice the loving kindness and the heartfelt compassion for myself. And I was able to access that so much more quickly. So I thought it was kind of a novel experience to talk about loving kindness and then to really have an intense amount of loving kindness when I totally screw up, right? Like screw ups are unavoidable. And if we can simply respond to ourselves with a little softness, I wonder what happens. You know, maybe your day doesn't get ruined, or at least your morning or afternoon, or your attitude or your perspective. Maybe you can just pause and reflect for a moment. So I'm hoping to share that a little bit with anyone that's watching this so that you can see what it might look like to put a deeper sense of loving kindness and compassion into place. So with that said, let's settle down our eyes and find a comfortable seat, feeling rooted and grounded into the earth, growing long in your spine and bright up through the crown of your head. Allow your palms to rest down on your knees if you need a little more settling, grounded energy, or allow them to be placed open in an act of receiving and inspiration. Closing down the eyes and tuning into our breath. Breathing in through the nose as you feel the lungs fill up. And allowing a sigh out our mouth. A few more times on your own, in through your nose. And an audible sigh out your mouth, welcoming an arrival. One of my dear friends reminded me a few weeks ago that as long as you are breathing, it is yoga. So I invite the true loving kindness to be simply showing up for yourself. And if that means disregarding every pose and posture suggestion that I have today, let that be a part of your practice, because we're developing kindness with ourselves when we allow ourselves to be in self-trust rather than fear or abandonment. Welcome to your practice. Let's begin by taking some neck circles, dropping right ear to right shoulder, and noticing a sensation down our left neck and shoulder as the breath continues to flow in and out. Bringing left ear to left shoulder and allowing a similar sensation on the right side to arise. And begin taking neck circles one direction and lingering anywhere that might feel sweet or maybe a little sticky. I love the opportunity to reach our chin up to the sky and notice an extra stretch down the front side of our neck and throat. But make this movement your own. We're so hunched over in our lives, looking at our computers and our phones, that just a simple neck roll can feel really special. If you haven't, reverse directions now, exploring any movement for the opposite side. And when you're ready, settling back into a neutral neck and shoulders and noticing what's shifted for you. Maybe you feel a little bit more present in your body. Maybe you're resisting. It's all okay. And next, rock forward a little bit, and we're going to stretch out our wrists and forearms. I always need this more than I realize. Probably some texting hands going on, and just rock back and forth, breathing into the sensation and allowing any tension to release with every exhale. It feels good, but it kind of hurts, but in a good way. So simple, but really special too. Beautiful. And when you're ready, roll out the wrists, any counter stretch that might feel good here, really exploring anything that your body needs with your fingers and knuckles, making fists and releasing, bringing energy to our hands. Oh, and when you're ready, sweep your arms up. Oh, and take a gentle back bend, our first back bend of the day, slight heart opening here. Exhale, release hands down to floor. Now reaching your right hand up and dropping it behind your shoulders. And if it's available for you, bring your left hand to meet your right. If you can grab opposite hands, that's beautiful. If you are just grabbing at your shirt, that's okay too. As long as you're noticing both broadness and brightness across your chest and a gentle stretch across the outside of your right arm, maybe a little stretch across the outside of your left as well. But whatever you're doing, make sure to energetically keep your shoulders broad, keep your chest open. We're going to be exploring a lot of heart openers, chest openers today in an act of loving kindness to ourselves and one another. One more breath here. And on your exhale, slowly and with control, release your hands down to the mat, taking any wiggles that might feel good in your body and exploring that same move on the other side. Left hand comes up and back, right hand reaches up in an attempt to meet left. Ooh, this feels so juicy on my outer left tricep. This kind of reminds me of elementary school PE, which feels like kind of a traumatic experience for probably almost everyone. If it might feel good to you, take a gentle side bend toward the right, feeling even deeper stretch along your left outer tricep and left side body. One more breath here. And on your exhale, gently release. Oh, and we'll make our way into child's pose. Grabbing a blanket and a block if you would like. I always practice with props. It feels like it makes everything a lot more accessible and restricts pain if there is any. Settling your hips back down to your heels, taking knees wide and allowing your belly to drape in between your thighs. Letting go of any tension that you might be carrying in your belly. I know I oftentimes find that I'm just all bound up in there, and I think child's pose is just such a simple and profound opportunity to release any tension, any constriction in your belly. Settling down the eyes and tuning back into your breath. If you have lost your breath, find it again. Allowing this to be first really restorative, soft and gentle. And as you're ready, we'll make child's pose a little more active by crawling our fingers out in front of us, maybe tenting our palms and turning on our arms and armpits, length and strength through the side bodies, and energetically sinking your hips even further back, really creating length through your torso. Beginning to turn everything on as we move toward a more active practice, building warmth. One more deep breath here, listening into your breath. And begin to lift your hips and finding a all fours tabletop, palms beneath shoulders, knees below hips, dropping your belly and lifting your chest and your chin toward the sky. Cow. And exhaling, doming through your shoulders, pressing through your hands to really activate the back side of your body. As you exhale, cat. Inhaling, dropping the belly once more, shining your chest forward. Cow. Exhaling, doming through your back and chest and shoulders. Cat. Exploring any movements linked to breath here. Maybe you wag your tail, find some barrel rolls through your chest, one direction, and then the next. Waking our spine up. Any pops and cracks are welcome. Not losing sight of your breath. And when you're ready, find a neutral spine once more and begin to crawl your hands out, allowing your chest to sink toward the floor once more. Puppy pose, hips come up. For a more intense stretch, you can place your chin on your mat, and if you need something that isn't quite so intense, and I think that's what I need today, I'm going to place my forehead on the ground, noticing a similar sensation through the back sides of our arms and our armpits, down along the inner seams of our side body. Such a beautiful stretch when you're hunched over. I'm saying that a lot, so apparently I'm feeling really hunched over all the time. Some posture correction. A few more breaths here. And when your body is ready, press back up into tabletop. Noticing anything that shifted for you at all. And we'll find down dog. So first you're going to want to tuck your toes, pressing into your hands and turning on your core. Lift your knees up off the floor just an inch or two. Really begin to activate into your deep core muscles. And on your next exhale, press your hips up and back, allowing your chest to drape toward your thighs, pedaling out one foot, one heel, and then the next, bending through each knee, finding movement first. Any juicy stretches here, welcome. Really make it your own. Find your own practice. Pressing in to the mat with your thumb and forefingers, allowing your inner arms to spiral in and back. And beginning to find some stillness here. Keeping a gentle bend in your knees so that your back can feel bright and long. Inhaling and exhaling as you settle. Look forward between your hands. Take a bend, a deeper bend between your knees, and finding a tiptoe stroll toward the top of your mat. Forward fold, keeping your feet hips width distance apart. And a similar bend in your knees so that you can drape your torso on top of your thighs, grabbing hold of opposite elbows and allowing your head and neck to hang, releasing any tension in your upper body, maybe finding a sway back and forth. And finding stillness. Hands come to ground or feet or legs. And as we inhale, finding a long spine, long through the back body, long through the front body, energetically shooting forward through the crown of your head. Inhale, exhale, release. Grounding through your feet as you reach your arms all the way up, upward salute. Length through your side body. Inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms, spreading your elbows east and west, broad across the chest, keeping your heart open. Inhaling back up through center. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Release. Inhale, halfway lift, long through that torso. Exhale, release. Plant your hands and stepping one foot back, and then the next will meet in high plank. Core is really strong here. Shooting your heels back and the crown of your head forward. One more round of breath. As we lower our knees, allow your elbows to come back along your side body as you lower your chest and finally your chin, 8-point pose. And on your exhale, fully release to the mat, keeping your hands along your side body near your ribs. Inhale, shine the chest forward, cobra. Exhale, release your forehead down to the mat. On your next exhale, shift your hips up and back to meet your heels. We'll meet in child's pose. Warming up the body in an act of loving kindness. Tabletop. We'll move through that one more time. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Heels release toward the floor, hips are shining upward toward the sky. length through your hamstrings. Looking forward toward the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, hop, float, levitate, whatever you want. Find yourself at a forward fold at the top of the mat, torso draping over thighs, release. Inhale, finds a flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, release. On your next inhale, arms sweep out and then up. Finding an energetic juxtaposition as your feet ground down and your arms reach up. Inhale, exhale, cactus your arms once more, shining your chest bright. Inhale, arms sweep back up, upward salute, the gentle back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Planting your hands, step one foot back and then the next, high plank, one round of breath. And on your exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, or if chaturanga is in your practice and you're wanting to really turn it up, feel free to explore chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, shining your chest forward toward the top of your mat, top of your space. Exhale, release. Hips come back to meet the heels, child's pose, just for one breath here. As long as you're breathing, it's yoga. Shifting back into all fours, tabletop. Tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Planting through your left foot, right foot sweeps to sky, three-legged dog. I always take a generous bend in my left knee so that my hips can stay as squared off as possible. Keeping a lot of energy through your toes, no dangly toes. Keep them really bright, really active. Inhale, exhale, pull your right knee toward your chest, doming through the back, a similar dome as we explored earlier in our practice, and release your right foot in between your hands, dropping your left knee to rest gently on the ground, setting up for a low lunge. Finding a grounded stability through your right foot and left knee. Oh, a stretch to the left side body. Inhale, reach your arms up, sinking lower into this low lunge. And on your exhale, cactus your arms once more. Elbows come out east and west. Inhale, arms sweep back up. Exhale, cactus your arms once more. Inhale, arms come back up. Exhale, shift your hips back. Find some brightness in your right toes, half splits. Pelvis is as neutral and aligned, one hip and the other as possible. Some length and sensation through your right hamstring. Oh, settling in. And on your inhale, plant your left hand and revolve open to the right. Gentle twist here, the first of a couple twists that we'll explore together. Inhale, exhale, release your right hand back down to the mat. Shifting forward, planting that right foot, tucking your back left toe, coming into a low runner's lunge. And when you're ready, bring your left foot to meet your right, forward fold, release. Inhale, arms sweep up, upward salute. Exhale, cactus those arms once more. Gentle back bend, heart opener. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, release. Plant your hands and I'll meet you in high plank, one foot and then the next. One round of breath in high plank And when you're ready, on your exhale, lower knees, chest, chin to the floor. Breathing in, shining your heart bright, cobra. Exhale, release. Allow yourself to linger anywhere that might feel good to you today. And when you're ready, shift your hips back, child's. And moving through tabletop, we'll meet in downward facing dog once more. We'll move through that sequence on the other side now, planting through your right foot, sweeping your left toward the sky, rolling through your ankle if that might feel good, keeping a bend in your right knee. And on your exhale, bring your left knee to chest, doming through the back, strengthening your core. And exhale, release your left foot down, your right knee down, untuck your toes, sweeping your arms out and then up, finding that same grounded energy. And if you wobble a little bit, that's okay. Inhale, and on your exhale, cactus your arms as you sink a little further into this low lunge. Inhale, arms sweep back up. Exhale, cactus your arms, sink even lower. Notice the sensation in your right hip flexor. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, shift your hips back, left toes shining bright, half splits. Settling here, tuning back into the breath and noticing the sensation along the left hamstring. Hips are square, left hip tacking back to meet the right, planting your right hand now underneath your shoulder as you revolve open toward your left. Whew, what a juicy stretch. Rolling through your wrist if that might feel good to you. Inhale, exhale, release your left hand, planting through your left foot, shifting forward, tucking your back toe, coming into a low runner's lunge. And when you're ready, bring your right foot to meet your left and a forward fold at the top of your mat. Oh, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. You know where we're going. Arms sweep up, long through the side body. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, arms reach back up, upward salute. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step your feet back to high plank. If you'd like to find yourself in down dog before any vinyasa, feel free to move through that. If a vinyasa would feel good to reset the spine, please explore that on your own or follow along. Shift your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Beautiful, friends. Allowing any audible sighs to come out your mouth. It's a great way to release any energy or sensation that might be building. Coming into stillness. Adding on once more, planting your left foot as your right foot comes to sky. If you'd like to find some hip opening here, bring your right heel to right glute and allow your knee to find some big juicy circles opening in one direction and then the next. And when you're ready, square your hips, shoot your back heel up, and on your inhale, bring your right knee to chest, planting your right foot and spinning your left foot down to parallel the short edge of your mat. Cartwheel your hands open, warrior two, arms reach energetically north and south. On your mat, knee is tracked over your big toe. Chest is long and bright toward the long edge of your mat. Settling in, this is a really powerful pose. So embody that power. Reverse your warrior, flip your front palm, reach out toward the front of your mat space, lift up, finding length in your side body, and allow your left hand to rest on your back leg or coming around your back to meet at the other side of your hip, finding a gentle stretch through your right side body. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot, spinning your back toes to come into a runner's lunge, planting your left hand and revolving open toward the right side of your mat space. Revolved low lunge. Inhale, exhale, frame your foot, finding some buoyancy in your left leg. Allow it to meet your right in a forward fold. Release, exhale. Bringing both feet to touch now, coming into chair. Sink your hips low, keeping your knees tracked back as far as they can so that you're not on your toes, your knees are not over the front of your feet, the front of your toes, reaching your arms up or keeping them at a prayer here at your heart center. Inhale and exhale, cactus your arms. That same bright sensation through your chest. Inhale, arms sweep up or come back through heart center. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant your hands, stepping back into high plank and moving through your vinyasa of choice. I'm gonna lower knees, chest, chin, shining my heart bright through cobra. Exhale, release down to mat. Moving through child's pose or tabletop. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Just a little bit more work, friends. Moving through that same sequence on the other side, planting your right foot, sweeping your left toward the sky. If you took some hip openers on the right side, and that would feel good on the left, feel free to explore that, bringing your left heel to glute and taking some circles with your knee one direction and then the next. Squaring off through the hips and straightening through that left leg, three-legged dog. On your next inhale, bring your left knee to nose and step it all the way through between both hands, spinning your right foot down so that it's parallel with the short edge of your mat, setting up for warrior two. Find a real strength in both legs before you open up, long in the arms toward the top and back of your mat. We're really working today. Allow your body to settle into its strength. And when you're ready, reverse your warrior, flip your left palm, reaching toward the front of your mat, sweeping it up and back, reverse warrior, long through the left side body. Right hand can come down your right leg or come around your sacrum. Inhale, exhale, cartwheel both hands to frame your front foot. Spin your back foot down, plant through your right hand and sweep your arm, your left arm open toward the sky, revolved low lunge. One round of breath here. And on your exhale, release your left foot down to the floor, low runner's lunge. That same quality of buoyancy and lightness through your right leg And as you're ready, bring your right foot to meet your left in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release down to the floor, bringing your big toes to touch or the inner seams of your feet to meet so that knees don't knock inward. And as you're ready, coming into chair pose, sinking your hips back, arms reach up. The literal translation of chair is fierce pose, which I'm reminded of every time I do it. Inhaling here. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, arms reach back up toward the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, last flat back of our practice today. And an exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step your feet back, meeting in high plank, moving through your vinyasa of choice. As always, make it your own practice. Taking a few audible, releasing sighs out your mouth. Settling your breath. And when you're ready, allow your knees to gently release toward the floor, sitting back on your hips, finding a comfortable pose. And once again, closing down the eyes, tuning back into your breath. As long as you're breathing, it's yoga. Ella's breathing too. I don't know if you can hear that. I got my whole crew here today. This is Lola. All right, shifting your hips to one side and then the other, and bringing your feet out long. Slowly rolling one vertebrae at a time all the way down to the mat. Slowly, 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 slowly. And just pausing here to release. We built up a lot of heat. That was some work. And we'll explore a bridge pose now. You can take an active bridge. I'll demo each for you. We have an active and a supported bridge. So let this first one be active, or if you know you're already headed toward the supportive bridge, feel free to take that one first. Bringing your heels in toward your glutes so that your fingertips can graze the back of your heels. Pressing your palms into the mat beside you in a upside down V shape. And on your inhale, slowly roll from your tailbone up to your mid back, pressing through your heels, traction your heels as though you're bringing them back toward your glutes or toward your shoulders, turning on your hamstrings, thighs, and glutes. And if you want even more heart opening, feel free to grab a hold of opposite palms and wiggle so that the backs of your arms are underneath your shoulders. This creates a little more space to open up in our hearts. A few more breaths here. And on an exhale, slowly roll one vertebrae at a time back down to the floor. Whew. Washing knees right and left to release any tension in your low back. and we'll set up for supported bridge. If you want, if that is in your practice, if you have a block, please grab it now. If you'd like to support yourself with a pillow or a bolster or even a blanket, feel free to use any alternate props. And when you're ready, that same motion to come up into bridge, but sliding any support underneath your sacrum that's not your low back. It's a little lower than your low back. It's really underneath your pelvis. It should feel really stable here. And allowing your arms to rest open. This might actually be my all-time favorite yoga pose. And I don't even know why. I'm sitting here trying to think about what it is that I like so much about it. And it just feels supported. I guess I always feel like I need a little more support. And I love this because it goes with me everywhere. I am my own support. A few more rounds of breath. And feel free to stay here as long as you want. I can stay here for like 10 minutes at a time sometimes. But I will move on. So pressing into your feet and removing that support and gently, gently, gently and mindfully rolling your spine back down to the floor. No harsh movements here. Settling here for a moment just to neutralize the spine. And when you're ready, hug your knees toward your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And rocking side to side, massaging your low back. And when you're ready, allow your knees to release toward the right any amount that you might want. So you might want them up closer toward your chest and armpits, and you might find that it feels better to allow your knees to drape further down your back. Kind of called for this middle way over here, allowing your left shoulder to stay on your mat, releasing open through your left arm. If any props here would feel good, feel free to explore that. I would, but Lola has decided she's taking over my blanket today. I usually take a blanket and place it in between my knees so it doesn't feel like they're knocking in too much. You could do the same thing with a block if that would feel good to you. But just settling here for a moment, maybe closing down your eyes, tuning back into your breath, and paying attention to the rise and fall of your chest with every breath. Three more inhales and exhales in a slow and mindful way. And when you're ready, removing any props, bringing your knees back up through center, giving your legs a little hug. If there's any little rock back and forth that would feel good to you, feel free to explore that on your own. And when you're ready, allowing your knees to drape toward the other side of the mat, keeping your opposite shoulder firmly grounded on your mat, and allowing that arm to reach out. I like to turn and face my extended hand. This feels feels like a deeper twist sensation for me. And maybe it's too much for you, so you explore what it's like to turn and face your knees. Closing down the eyes once more and tuning into your breath. 3 more unrushed breaths. And when you're ready, but not any sooner than that, feel free to bring your knees back up through center. Hug them in toward your chest. And if there's any final movements or shapes or stretches that would feel good to you, feel free to take the next minute and just explore that. Maybe it looks like happy baby, grabbing the outside edges of both feet, finding a rock back and forth maybe. Or perhaps this looks like floating butterfly, bringing the soles of your feet to touch and grabbing at your ankles and allowing your knees to release out to either edge of your mat. It's a deep sensation in your inner thighs. When you're finally ready for your rest, hug your knees in tight toward your chest. Make yourself into a ball. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And on your exhale, release all the way down, finding Shavasana, taking up as much space as you possibly can. Oh, I love taking a block at my lower belly to feel even more grounded. Closing down your eyes. Shavasana. Please feel free to stay here as long as you want. Really, 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 we move our bodies so that we can rest. So if you have the extra time, please do stay. if you are ready to begin coming back online, begin to deepen your breath and bring some wiggles through your fingers and toes, rolling through your wrists and ankles, blinking open the eyes, and rolling over onto your right side, allowing your right ear to rest on your right shoulder and just pausing in fetal pose for a few moments. Slowly making your way back up to a seat. No rush. Closing down the eyes and placing one hand on your heart and one on your belly. And breathing in deeply and exhaling completely. Closing the circuit with your hands on your body so that you can feel into your body breathing. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Thank you so much for taking this time for yourself. What a beautiful, beautiful act of loving kindness and sweetness toward yourself. If you have not, I encourage you to either pair this moving meditation with the full loving kindness meditation that's in your portal. And if not paired today, feel free to explore that another day. It's a beautiful traditional Buddhist meditation, Mayatri or Metta meditation. But take this loving kindness energy out into the world with you. You deserve it. You are amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to be on this life journey with you. One more deep breath in to close out our practice and an audible exhale out. Thank you so much. Soha, let it be so. Have a wonderful day.